We're going to dive into why one single number has this almost unbelievable control over your mortgage, your savings, and even your job. Most people only react to this number after the damage is already done, but by the end of this, you'll see it coming.
So you see a number like this. It might seem kind of abstract, right? Like something you'd hear on the news and then immediately forget. But trust me, it's way more than just a percentage. It's a signal, a really powerful one, that's reshaping your entire financial world right now.
And no, that's not an exaggeration. We're talking about the absolute cornerstones of your financial life. From buying a house to what you earn on your savings, it all traces back to the power of interest rates.
Okay, so to really get this, we have to kind of shift our thinking about what an interest rate even is. It's not just the cost of borrowing money. It's something way more fundamental than that.
Here it is. This is the key idea that changes everything. An interest rate is basically the price of the future. It's how we as a society decide how much we value having something today versus waiting for it tomorrow.
And this really shows you how it works. When rates are low, the future feels cheap, right? So businesses expand, people borrow for big things, the whole economy gets going. But when rates are high, suddenly the future looks super expensive. So we save more, we hesitate, we wait. That one change in price changes all of our behavior. I absolutely love this metaphor. It's the perfect way to think about it. When gravity is low, everything just kind of floats, Asset prices, spending, crazy speculation. But when you crank that gravity up, man, only the things with a solid foundation are left standing.
All right, so let's take that idea of financial gravity and see what it does to the biggest money decisions you'll probably ever make. This is where it gets personal.
It's funny, we get so fixated on the sticker price of a house, but honestly, the interest rate can hit your wallet even harder. A jump from 3% to 7% isn't small change. It's hundreds of dollars more every single month. It's literally like adding a whole new car payment that just vanishes into interest.
And that right there is why the housing market can just freeze solid. It's not that people suddenly stop wanting to buy homes. It's that the financing, the affordability, gets turned off like a tap. That's the power of the rate.
Okay, let's switch gears to debt for a second. When it comes to credit cards, you basically have two kinds of people. You have transactors, who pay their balance off every month. They pay zero interest. And then you have revolvers, who carry a balance from one month to the next.
Now, if you're a revolver, high rates are just absolutely brutal. That 20+% interest is compounding against you every single day. The math is not your friend. In a high-rate world, your financial habits get magnified big time. Good discipline becomes super rewarding, but a lack of it becomes incredibly stressful and unbelievably expensive.
All right, now let's pull back the curtain a bit and see how the pros think about this stuff. We're going to look past the big, flashy numbers you see on the news to what really, truly matters for your money. So you see a savings account advertising 5%, and you think, hey, that's pretty good. But what actually matters is your real return. If you're earning 5%, but inflation, the cost of everything, is going up by 3%, you're really only getting 2% richer in terms of what you can buy. And if inflation is at 6%, well, even though your bank account number is going up, you're actually losing 1% of your purchasing power every year.
So yeah, the nominal rate is what they advertise. The real rate is what you actually feel in your wallet. And trust me on this, the markets, the big banks, all the serious players, they are making all of their decisions based on real rates, not the headlines.
So, we've seen the huge impact, right? From your mortgage all the way to your savings. The big question is, how does this number even change? Like, who is actually pulling the levers on this whole gravity machine? Well, it's a process, and it all starts at the very top with the Federal Reserve. They set what's basically the wholesale price of money that banks charge each other. And when that price goes up for the banks, guess what? They pass that cost right on to us. It's a slow but incredibly powerful ripple effect that moves through the entire system.
A lot of people think the Fed is out to get them when rates go up, like they're being punished, but that's not it at all. A much better way to think of it is like a thermostat for the economy. When things get too hot, everyone's spending like crazy, prices are soaring, the Fed raises rates to cool things down and bring the system back into balance. It's a tool, not a judgment.
Okay, this is a really important point. We often talk about the economy like it's this one giant thing that affects everybody the same way. It's not even close. A change in interest rates creates a really clear divide between winners and losers.
So on one hand, a rate hike can really squeeze a family that has a big mortgage or a business that has a lot of debt. But on the other hand, for a retiree who's living off the interest from their cash savings, it can be a huge win. High rates hurt borrowers, but they reward savers. It's the same policy with two totally different outcomes.
Think about it. For more than a decade, we were basically living in a world with zero financial gravity. Money was practically free, and that made a lot of people do some pretty weird things with their finances. Now that era is over, and the adjustment back to reality is painful for those who weren't prepared. And the natural human reaction is emotion, not analysis.
But now you get it. You understand how this all works. So, as the financial gravity continues to shift, my question to you is this. Are you going to be one of the people who reacts emotionally after it's too late? Or are you going to understand the forces at play and adjust your footing before you make your next move?